My name is Alan Pickering, and this is a hot air engine of a unique design built for showing purposes at rallies. It's got lots of things moving up and down, which is unusual for a hot air engine. It's purely a showpiece, and I built it in the winter of 2016. Mostly made out of scrap from the workshop. The flywheel is part of a handmade, hand-operated drilling machine, an old antique thing. It was about a foot in diameter. There's about getting on for 20 bearings, needle bearings and ball races in the system to try and keep friction down to virtual nothing. There's not a lot of power in these engines. You can't get in more power than you put in. This is running on colour gas at present. No, it's propane. I've made the chimney removable. It just lifts off so that you can get it in the car. The bore and stroke, the stroke is 4 inches. The piston is from a Yamaha motorbike, Chinese. It's about 1.5 inches, a bit more in diameter. I'll just walk my way around the engine. Bit awkward to do because I'm in a very confined space. This is a displacement cylinder, and you can see there's an oiler and a wick on there. This is the only place where there's no needle roller bearings, because you can't have them because hot air would escape, and so you've got to have a constant supply of oil on there, otherwise it would stop the engine. At the other side these are called linear bearings, and they're a bit like curtain rails. There's 100 bearings in there, and they're all moving up and down like on curtain rails, and consequently make quite a lot of noise. I reduced this noise by 80% by putting it on this plate and isolating the plate from the frame with rubber bushes and O-rings, and this made a huge difference. Just looking at the motion again. This is the displacer rod, and it's in fact a stainless steel tube going into a 3/4 inch thick solid stainless bar going through this linear bearing. See the motion. It's very hypnotic. I'm very, very pleased with this engine. What you've got to do is keep it cool, and for that I put an extra cooling tower in here, and you'll see there's water coming out of this overflow pipe here, and this is the result of the water pump pumping the water around the system. It empties the main hot tank about every 5 minutes. This is the main hot tank, and in the top of it you will see an overflow pipe if you look carefully in the corner, and if it shows up. There's the reflections from the fluorescent lights going on there. Now water never goes over the overflow pipe because it's running on gravity, and it's just running down this pipe here along and into the overflow. Now the pump which is responsible for this is down here. There it is. As you can see, it only runs every half cycle, so it can never overtake or overfill the tank. This of course is the propane burner. decides how much air is going into the power cylinder. This is a displacer cylinder. It's a huge thing, almost like a Coke tin inside, bigger. And it goes right to the end. And this is the end that gets very hot. And this is the end that is water cooled. Right. Let's look at the motion before we go around. Everything has got to be lined up absolutely spot on. There's all these needle bearings, there's about a good 18 or 20 of them. They've got to be dead right, otherwise there's friction. Well, it just seizes up, it won't work. That means that the frame has got to be dead square. It's a major problem. But every time you arc weld the frame, it moves. It has to be bent back. And it's accurate to about 5 thou all over. Major job. This is a dynamo which started life as an 8 horsepower motor from eBay. Came out of the bottom of a canal and it was horrendous, but I cleaned it up and I took out the squirrel cage and replaced, well, I put a load of holes in the squirrel cage, 1/2-inch holes, and put 8 neodyne magnets in there and turned it into a DC generator with the output coming onto these terminals here. The flywheel, I believe, came from an old-fashioned hand-operated drilling machine, an old antique. I bought it on eBay for 40 quid. That came out of the same canal as the generator. However, it could be machined and it's running dead true. Although the casting doesn't look it. The rim is absolutely spot on. Going round the engine again. We can get past this vice. Power cylinder. The copper pipe is the water feed going up to keep the engine cool. Part of the recirculating system. Here we have the water pump yet again. This gave me quite a bit of trouble last week, in as much as it was a stainless steel casting, and it required about a 4 or 5-inch hole reamed through it, which is difficult to do. And I made a mistake of putting a stainless steel ram in, which, when I took it to a show, caught up and seized up and stopped the engine. So I've now turned it into a glass ram. And up to now, it's been perfect. With the valve on the end, just to make sure that it works and takes any airlocks out of the system. Here we have a picture of the propane burner. I try and run the engine as slowly as I can, and it will run quite slowly. Going up to the top of the engine, the 2 lifting handles, it's very heavy. The chimney slides over a tube and is removable so that you can get it in the car. Now this tube is red hot, so I'm not very keen on doing this, but there it goes. See? This has been serialised in Model Engineer over a period of 6 articles. 4539 issue it started off as, and it was done in 1916 I believe, and it was the front page cover on the magazine. This is a quick view of the workshop that made it. Lots of machines, all done in the back garden. Bandsaw, little plough surface grinder, arc welder, extremely useful. And as you can see, drilling machines, a big lathe a long way away, in fact 2 lathes. I'll just walk this round and give you an idea. It's taking a lot of space up and I have to squeeze past it. It was the same when I was making it. Very difficult to find room to make it. It's on a lifting table, which is a brilliant idea because you can steam it there, you can get it in the back of the car, etc. Just running around quickly. Ultrasonic cleaner, wire brushing machine, another grinder, Dormer twist grill grinder, lathe sharpener, fine coal inisher, another grindstone, Smart and Brown lathe without any lighting on it. Very nice bit of children kit. And here's my big lathe, the Big Mitchell, which is an absolute godsend. Everything in the world goes on this machine. It's a removable bed. This is a coordinate drilling machine, Swiss made. There we have a press along with another little drilling machine. Tapping machine for hand tapping. Going round the workbench with all the drawers underneath, which came from a bakery. This is the music system. I run a Spirit of New Orleans jazz band, and there's about 50 or 60 tunes on YouTube. If you want to tap in Alan Pickering jazz, and it will come up. Okay, thanks for watching this video. I'll just leave it ticking over for a few more seconds. Turn the gas down a bit. Now this has been running for over an hour. And if I put my hand on there, or my arm on there, it's cool. There's no heat there to think of, just a lot more than blood heat. I put my fingers in, it's no problem. The same applies to here. Same temperature. And this pump will fill this tank, recirculate it once every 5 minutes. I got the inspiration for building this machine from a picture I saw on the internet from a German model engineer. I don't know his name, but the linkage system was the same. I consider I could make it bigger and perhaps a bit more different and personal. The advantage of this is tremendous, in as much as the power cylinder you have to oil. And there's a little oil cup on the top of it with a valve. You might be able to see it there. And this, you fill up with oil. You need to put a drop of oil in there. There's 2 piston rings in there. And the oil drips down to ground, as you can see. Normally on most hot air engines, which are the other way up, somehow, it doesn't matter how, but the oil always finishes up in the hot end here, carburizing the cylinder up touching the cylinder and stopping the engine. It totally eliminates that problem. These are drain valves, and another drain valve is down there, just for emptying. Hello Rosie. And this is a track valve on the top of the boiler. So thanks for watching, and there's my little dog come to see me. There she goes, and hope to do another video. Keep in touch. This is Alan Pickering from Dorset signing off. Thank you for watching.